Love and Anarchy, Season 1. Complete story. Explained. The story begins with Sophie, a successful consultant who starts her new job as a manager at a traditional publishing company. On her very first day, she meets the CEO, Ronnie, and the rest of the staff. During the welcome meeting, a temporary IT technician named Max arrives late, creating chaos throughout the office. Sophie quickly realizes that Max is loud, unpredictable, and impossible to ignore. Later, while settling into her office, Sophie hears drilling noises coming from the wall. Frustrated, she discovers that Max is responsible and firmly tells him to complete his technical work outside office hours so employees can concentrate. After meeting with the literary director, Friedrich, and the PR manager, Denise, Sophie returns home and discusses her first day with her husband, Johann. She explains that the publishing company is outdated and still relies on manual systems instead of modern digital technology. Although determined to improve the business, Sophie feels overwhelmed by the pressure. To escape her stress, Sophie secretly watches adult videos late at night. Unfortunately, Max unexpectedly catches her doing the same thing in the office after everyone has gone home. Without Sophie noticing, he secretly takes photos as evidence. The following day, Max confronts Sophie and reveals that he knows her secret. Embarrassed and desperate, Sophie investigates Max's background and learns that he comes from a poor family. Believing she can solve the problem with money, she offers to pay him to delete the photos. Instead of accepting the money, Max makes an unusual request. He wants Sophie to have lunch with him. Reluctantly, she agrees. During lunch, Max teasingly asks why she watches those videos, but before Sophie can answer, one of her friends interrupts the conversation. Max later claims he deleted the pictures, but Sophie doesn't trust him. She secretly takes his phone, believing she has finally gained the upper hand. However, things don't go as planned. At work, Denise and Friedrich discover someone has hacked their personal accounts and ask Max for help. Since Sophie still has his phone, she is forced to return it, realizing Max cleverly manipulated the entire situation. Amused by his intelligence, Sophie starts playing along. She hands Max her lipstick and explains a strange game. Whoever holds the lipstick has the right to give the other person a challenge, and that challenge must be completed without refusal. The next morning, Max sends Sophie an envelope with her first challenge. She must yell at someone in the office. Sophie searches for a target and eventually scolds her secretary, unaware that the secretary had already received permission to leave early. Max watches the entire situation with satisfaction. Soon after, Sophie accidentally crashes into a cyclist outside the office. Max arrives, helps her gather her scattered papers, and returns the lipstick, making it Sophie's turn to give him a challenge. That evening, Sophie attends a party with her husband, Johann. Throughout the event, Johann repeatedly humiliates her in front of his friends, making Sophie feel completely insignificant. Angry and emotionally exhausted, she texts Max and orders him to create chaos during the next day's office meeting. Max happily accepts the challenge. During the meeting, the cleaning staff suddenly interrupts after Max falsely tells them Sophie invited everyone for coffee. The confusion leaves the employees shocked, while Sophie secretly enjoys the prank. After completing his task, Max takes the lipstick again and gives Sophie a new challenge. He tells her to arrive at work dressed like a 1990s pop star. Although embarrassed, Sophie follows through, surprising everyone in the office except Max, who can't stop smiling. Celebrating their successful game, Max impulsively kisses Sophie in the street. While the kiss catches her off guard, it also changes the dynamic of their relationship forever. Meanwhile, Sophie visits her daughter Isabella's school. Her teacher explains that Isabella is exceptionally intelligent but socially withdrawn and encourages Sophie to spend more time understanding her daughter. As preparations begin for an important book fair, Sophie notices that Max's hotel room is directly across from hers. Since she currently holds the lipstick, she leaves him a note asking him to do something unforgettable during the event. Max doesn't disappoint. He suddenly switches off all the lights during the book fair, creating complete confusion before disappearing into the crowd. Later, Sophie congratulates him for successfully completing the challenge. That night, she quietly waits for him, but instead only hears footsteps outside her hotel room. The following day, jealousy begins to consume Sophie after seeing Max talking to another woman. Whispering into his ear, she challenges him to make the staff lunch more exciting. Max secretly slips drugs into the desserts, warning Sophie not to eat them. As the press conference begins, everyone who ate the desserts becomes unconscious except Sophie and Max. With the entire hotel in chaos, the two spend the rest of the day together, growing closer than ever. The next day, they visit a swimming pool, enjoy each other's company, and later return to the hotel, where they finally begin a romantic relationship. After the book fair ends, everyone returns to work. However, Sophie suddenly stops coming to the office and spends 3 weeks working from home. Unable to understand why she disappeared, Max becomes increasingly worried and eventually visits her house. Sophie admits their relationship is wrong and insists they should end it, yet she cannot hide her feelings, and the two once again give in to their emotions. Their secret is almost exposed when Johan unexpectedly returns home. Thinking quickly, Sophie lies and says Max is simply there to repair the dishwasher. Although Max pretends to fix it, he leaves feeling hurt and decides never to speak to Sophie again. The following day, Sophie apologizes and Max forgives her. He invites her to his apartment where they spend the day together. During their conversation, Max reveals that his mother sees him as irresponsible and believes he'll never settle down. Rumors about Sophie and Max begin spreading through the office. The secretary even warns Max that Sophie could lose her job for abusing her authority to pursue a younger employee. Max ignores the gossip completely. Sophie later gives Max another challenge. He must spend his mother's birthday with her. Max agrees, but when his younger brother discovers he's dating an older married woman with a child, his mother is left shocked. At home, Johan suddenly announces that he wants the entire family to move to London and expects Sophie to quit her career without asking her opinion. Furious, Sophie feels trapped between her marriage and her growing feelings for Max. She informs Ronnie that she plans to relocate to London. Max overhears the conversation and confronts her outside the office. During an emotional argument, Sophie insists their relationship is nothing but madness and throws the lipstick away, declaring everything between them is over. Heartbroken, Max collapses from emotional exhaustion. Sophie also struggles to move on, secretly hoping fate will bring them together again. Meanwhile, Johan continues treating Sophie with disrespect. During another gathering with friends, he insults both her and her family. This time, Sophie finally stands up for herself, refusing to stay silent any longer. The following day, she storms into the publishing company wearing nothing but a bathrobe, interrupting an important business meeting. Her shocking entrance destroys the meeting but sends a clear message. She is done living according to everyone else's expectations. Max follows her outside, overwhelmed with happiness when he realizes she never moved to London. Sophie has chosen her own future instead of blindly following her husband. In the end, Sophie rejects society's expectations, challenges the rules surrounding age gap relationships, and embraces the complicated feelings she has for Max. Their story becomes a powerful exploration of love, freedom, personal identity, and the risks people take when they decide to follow their hearts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this complete story recap, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie and series explanations.